I was talking to Theo Vaughn the other day about I was complaining because I spent $2,000 on back hair removal.
2,000. We got to talk about this on the podcast.
Are we not on the podcast right now?
Oh, we're on now.
It's airing. Yeah.
So you
Okay,
spent $2,000 on back hair removal?
Laser back hair removal, and
How hairy
How
was
are
your
we
back?
talking? Yeah, we were talking about
it was not good. You know, I had been in a relationship for 5 years, so I didn't realize it was bad to have back hair because, you know, when someone loves you, they don't care.
Yeah.
And then when you're out with these just regular girls on Tinder, they'll let you know, like, this is a
Just
problem.
shit
Yeah, this is a problem.
They'll let you know.
Yeah. Like, and I would
some
have...
women like it, don't they?
You know, I'd
say no.
I think that's the thing. Hairy guys, it's like guys who are uncircumcised have the thing of like, women love a good foreskin. And then you talk to them, they're like, nope, we're good on that.
Yeah.
So anyway, I spent $2,000. That's my 16th session. I was like, still not really working. They're like, yeah, you might just not be a candidate for this. And then I told Theo Vaughn, he goes, man, Jewish back hair is like climate change. I mean, that's just going to happen. just classic Theoism where you're like, it's kind of retarded, but kind of brilliant.
But it works.
I don't know why that works.
He used to have that joke where he'd just go, Jews are clogging up the internet again.
Not only does he have that joke, I remember being on a TV show with him called Reality Bites back in 2008. And I was just getting to know him. And
what was the show about?
It was a bunch of unknown comics, Amy Schumer, Tiffany Haddish, me, Theo, Bert Kreischer. A bunch of people are no longer in the business.
Yeah, right.
And it was basically right when the writer's strike happened and Comedy Central, basically, we just need something to put on. And so it was like, let's just take a bunch of comedians and put them in crazy situations.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was fun. And then I remember, you know, it's when you're just starting out comedy, you're always trying out jokes on your friends, you know? Mm-hmm. And Theo just goes to me, all right, man, what do you think of this joke? Jews are clogging up the internet. And I was like, so it's a setup, right? Is there going to be a punchline coming, or we're just, that's the joke. That's it.
By the way, it works.
It works great.
Only Theo could pull that off.
And how do you sit
He ends
there?
with something like that now, which is hilarious.
Oh, yeah, it's a great, I know which one you're talking about.
But how do you write that and know you've written a joke? Like, how do you look at your writing pad and be like, all right, this is done?
It makes you laugh.
man.
It makes you laugh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But so your back hair is just free flowing now?
No, it's, you know, it's more like acceptable. Like I just got back from Miami Beach last night, and I was walking around on Miami. I was like, I'm aware that I'm hairier than everyone else on this beach.
Did you grow up
No.
in Miami?
No, I grew up in Northern California in the country.
Miami, Brian, of all the fucking cities?
I don't know. I thought
he doesn't look like he's from Miami. You relate your injuries to mine, it drives me nuts. How about when I say I have an knee problem, I've been telling the listeners for about 6 years that I have a knee problem now. I just haven't done anything about it. So when I run...
So it might be from the years of football and fighting?
Now, I'm sure your trainer, if he told me the same stretches, wouldn't do shit for me. Right. But I hear you. I'm glad it worked for you.
How about when I gave you instructions on how to sprint because you were doing
that was great.
The way Rocky does when we did, and I go, you know, when you... He goes, he ran, and I didn't realize he was running like Sylvester Stallone does in the movie. And I went, hey, when you run, you know, because I took sprinting classes when I was in high school.
Yeah. True.
And I went, run like this, and it does make you faster, right? And he goes, oh, hold on. I'm sorry. Because I didn't work with the best, I didn't play football on a high level and work with the best fucking coaches on how to run in the world, and I didn't do that afterwards either. What were you saying about, because I wasn't running like Sylvester Stallone in the movie exactly like him. You're telling me I shouldn't run with my arm? I was actually embarrassed. I got embarrassed.
We were filming Friend Kid 3D running on the beach.
Yes. Yeah, and I decided to give you a
you did.
Sprintola lesson.
No, man. No one wants to see you run perfect form when you're making a comedy show.
Gave a boxing lesson on set yesterday, and I had to text Brendan just so I wasn't a total asshole.
So Stanley passed away this morning.
Stanley had a philosophy behind his characters. You know, Stanley had a philosophy behind life. Stanley was a genuine, real writer. There's a difference there. And I think one of the reasons that those characters stick with us is they're conflicted and they're real people. They may be superheroes, but they're real, right? So Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. There was always a philosophy behind it, and the philosophy was always pointing toward good. And I think you were talking about, I think the reason the Wolverine was sort of the first big hit, because why? Do you know why?
No, Spider-Man was.
No, Wolverine. No, I'm saying in the movies, Wolverine was such a hit because it was the first time they had a superhero that killed people. Wolverine killed people.
Yeah, most of the time they wouldn't show, like,
that.
Spider-Man never killed anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he pushed that guy.
That's why they've always struggled with the Punisher. Because in the comic books, he was just like, I'll just murder people all the time.
Yeah.
And they can't ever do that.
No.
They just,
Did you see the series on Netflix? He fucks dudes.
I struggle with that one.
But not to this extent.
To the
they
same
should.
glee of, you know.
Most hardcore fans think Punisher should be like,
he should be like a psychopath. Like, he should be like a guy who was like
Murder everybody.
Yeah. He's
But
a
those guys
Superman.
never captured the wide embrace. You know, there's still that idea of like, you know,
Superman,
you're on the side of good, which means you don't behave like your enemy behaves.
Right.
You don't become them. You always have the higher moral ground. And Stan Lee's characters all had the higher moral ground and held to it, even when it was inconvenient.
It's finding a way. I think what Stan Lee was so good about it is like, or any of the heroes that are great, is find a way to make them all powerful, but also super vulnerable.
Yeah.
Like, there's a reason Superman 2, the originals, was the best one because he lost his powers and we could really relate to
And
his
they had
struggle.
relationship problems.
Yeah.
Peter Parker, they had loves, but they couldn't commit because they had a bigger responsibility. So they were lonely characters. They were lonely. They couldn't ever have a girlfriend, but they wanted one badly. It was all that shit.
Batman's basically a stand-up comedian, right? Just always sort of alone. Basically.
weird dude.
Just weird, alone.
Works at night only.
Only at night, you know. He's
But
sort
he's-
of like,
but he's a
no
successful
relationships
one.
can relax because he's always alone.
But he's a baller.
The Dark
Yeah.
Knight.
Right.
What
He's
else you
also
got, Jen?
superhuman. He's human. I mean, what I mean is that he's not.
No, Batman has no special powers.
Right.
Zero.
He had a tough childhood,
brain.
you know.
His
so
mom and dad died.
both
They're
his
rich
parents were
as
kind of
shit.
distant growing up.
Sometimes peeing just feels so nice,
You
doesn't
gotta
it?
just, yeah, I know what you mean.
When was the last time you pissed your pants, bro?
A long time.
Can I be honest? Because I feel like I'm in the circle of trust right now. I'm in the
you
safe
are.
tree.
And nobody's listening.
No one's listening. After we finished filming on Monday, I was taking a hot piss and didn't get all of it out.
That
and
happens.
zipped up the old schnoggin
That
logging
happens.
into my jeans.
Yeah.
And I had the biggest piss stain on my pants.
That's a
And
problem.
I got my 3-wheel fucking Batmobile like an asshole.
Yeah. I've had
It's pretty embarrassing.
I've done that before. Where I'm like, I'm in a rush and I'm like, well, we're done. And my dick's like, I had more pee in the shaft.
Yeah, and then
I'm like, well, there it is. Now I'm all wet.
and jeans don't dry fast.
Damn it.
Jeans take 7 hours to cover it
Take a
up.
long time to cover
You
your pee
dickhead.
stain. Yeah.
You dickhead.
Yes.
I was a 35-year-old man did that. Yeah.
My father-
And it was not these jeans, but
My dad used to fly. He had his own, like a little small plane. He was a hobby of his. And he said,
good thing you did this when
I
you
said,
said
I gotta
fly,
pee.
not this.
And he goes, I got a bathroom thing here. I go, what do you mean? He goes, you pee in this thing. And I go, well, that's not possible because I'm sitting down. He goes, no, you do it like this. And I go, have you ever done it? He goes, nope. I go, well, be careful because you're flying. And we're, 10,000 feet up in the air. And he decided to try to pee. And it didn't work because he had it wrong. And when I tell you that he pissed
all over
all
himself.
over himself. Like he emptied his bladder.
Are you laughing?
Think about sitting down and just basically peeing against. Take a I don't know, a cup and just pee against the other side of it, and it just was the most ridiculous thing. I was like, well, there it is, and he was just covered in piss. I was like, enjoy this. Got
Dude, you
another
ever
hour
piss
of
in a
flight.
bottle? You'd be surprised how
Yes.
much pee-pee you hold in.
Oh, dude, I filled a whole fucking tennis can.
Tennis
balls.
cans.
You know, tennis balls.
Yeah,
Fill the whole
I'll fill up Gatorade things. I haven't done it in a while.
You
but
piss a lot.
Yeah, you have no idea.
Especially when you got
you're holding it. Yeah.
Oh, man, I
Fires out like a super soaker.
fuck
We
yeah.
were,
Heard
like the first time me and Ashley had sex, we didn't use. I don't. Let's look at it. I don't
Yeah,
use-
no, talk
so I
about
do this
it.
thing where, like, I mean, we've been together for over a year now, so like,
Say over a year?
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
long. Carry on.
not long. All right.
Yeah, all right. I thought
It's
every other year, so
but
we're good.
It feels like 10.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
we didn't use a condom, and then I do this thing like,
Damn, dog.
where I won't use a condom, and then I'll get super neurotic about it, and I'll be like terrified, So I made her go down with me to Walgreens, and I've done this with numerous women, where you buy the HIV home test. It's
HIV for straight
50
guys.
I know it's basically
slim to vanishing, especially if you're European descent. The reason for that, and I don't know if you know this, but at least this is from Juan Enriquez, who he's a venture capitalist, and but he was on TED Talk about this. What they found is that if you survive the bubonic plague, which is almost everybody you know of European extraction, everybody you know who has European blood survived the bubonic plague, which killed half of Europe in some places.
fucking nuts.
You have a genetic predisposition. There is a gene factor where you're essentially HIV resistant, meaning That the only way to get HIV. So why didn't HIV become? Why was it an African American disease? Why was it an East Asian disease? And why was it prevalent in both sexes? Why in Africa was it devastating to both sexes? Why not in Europe? It never happened. Because you have a genetic predisposition, you're HIV resistant. The only people that actually got it were white men who were either shooting up and getting it shot into their veins or having anal sex and being the recipient of anal sex. The men that were doing the fucking in the epidemic were the ones that survived the epidemic.
So you made her take an HIV test.
Oh, I've been to do this a million times. So but no one knows this exists. And I actually do a bit about this in my stand-up act because it's so funny. Like, this is how little people use this product. In any Walgreens or Duane Reade or drugstore, they sell an HIV test where you can find out within 20 minutes just by putting it on your gums. No blood, just spit if you have HIV. But these products are so infrequently bought, they're always 50% off. So my question is, who's walking in there like, oh, I think I have AIDS. Oh, it's not marked down? Fuck it. I'll find out next month. You know what I mean? I just signed up for Hulu Plus. I can't afford to know if I have AIDS.
Yeah.
So I was all terrified, and then I like made her, and that's why I knew she would be a good girl for me because she could deal with my fucking neurosis.
You're a pussy, though. How would you worry about HIV? He like,
dude, you don't.
And you bring her down to the fucking. I would never. I'd be like, nah, it's all right. It's all good.
No, I know. But
when he was like, hey, do you mind going to get an HIV
like,
test?
I know it's not going to happen, but like, I will be bothered by it for 6 months. It will just crush me inside. Yeah. I've called the HIV hotline so many times in a row that they literally told me, like, sir, you cannot call here for 48 hours. Because
I'm worried about the AIDS.
I just get like, a neurotic thing in my head.
Don't you tell him that it's like,
crazy.
It's slim to vanishing.
I know, but I have to deal with this beautiful woman who comes home having just had her finger up like 1,000 assholes with germs all over her and be like, give me a hug in your fucking scrubs that probably have a million fucking diseases all over it. It fucking drives me
what
nuts.
A germaphobe.
So yeah, when he came home and said that to me, I said, fine, you have to take one too and you're going to pay for it. And then we did it. It's fine.
Well, that was not necessary. I was not planning on asking you to Venmo me $58.
You're like, I'll cover it.
Unless you were positive, in which case I would ask for the Venmo.
Yeah, but I've had guys, like slip up in the act and then like you have to go spend $50 on a plan B and they're not chipping in, which is like in both people's self-interest. Like,
yeah.
When you see my back ripple and I pull myself up like a chimp 30 times bang while talking to you, why wouldn't I give that to you as inspiration?
It's a gift, really.
It's a gift.